October 8th, 2020, Town of Shingatig Recreation and Community Enhancement Committee meeting. I don't see anybody here for public comment, so I will ask if I can get the agenda adoption.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Yeah.
Aye. All right, item number 4, discuss playground and field equipment for Smith Street Park.
How much money do we have?
Well, what we're discussing right now is the, if you look at the first page of your agenda, you'll see the conceptual drawing that was done when this park was proposed. Starting with the property that we own, we do not own the 2 lots on the left. Mr. Landsberger still owns those. We do own the parking lot. The base is done, drainage structures are completed. The next thing to do there is actually pave. We've got that scheduled for March, okay? Or sooner if we can do it. Next thing, going to the right, you see the soccer field layout, and this will be a youth soccer field. It's not going to be a professional or high school field. There's just not enough room there. If everyone likes that orientation, we can certainly make that work.
What size did it end up being?
What is it, Harvey?
It's the youth size for the younger kids.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's actually 4 different sizes.
You what? You 8 to 12?
U16 probably.
Huh?
U16 probably we can
Now
do.
U16 full size
Then it'll
field.
be a U12 field.
Yeah.
If not.
Get with AYS. Like I said, if you can't get with AYSO and get what that size field would be, that way it'd be at least a size of something.
And I looked it up.
And yeah, you can go AYSO, they can tell you the size of the field. You know, U10 and you know, then U12.
Okay. The field is shown, we're going to start this fall on leveling seeding, and we'll probably go ahead and buy the goals. Harvey's been pricing the goals, so we'll buy the goals and have those ready to go. Next thing, if you look moving down to the bottom of that, you see three of these integrated play structures, 1 larger one and 2 smaller ones. Those are in your packet. If you go to the next several sheets, we pulled out equipment, examples of equipment that we can do. I mean, this is not the only equipment available, obviously. Right now, this equipment is shown at half price because that's the price they're giving us, which lets you know how much their markup is.
Is this us putting together?
This price is purchased, delivered with the border that goes around it. We will install it, and the town will pay for the surfacing inside the border.
Right.
Correct, Harvey?
Correct.
They gave us a price to install it. It's ridiculous. We'll do it.
Right.
can-
That's what
we
I'm
can
saying.
certainly
Yeah,
do
they
it.
do.
If you like this equipment, this can certainly be purchased when the time comes, and like I said, we will do the installation. Again, referring back to the park layout, you'll see that to the south of the soccer field, and we will try to follow that relative orientation for these 3 pieces of equipment. We already have 1 piece of equipment, a chess table that was purchased by Mr. Landsberger that we can install as well. Harvey and I talked about putting a concrete pad under that and making it so it's easy to trim the grass around and doesn't get overgrown or anything. Other than that, the
Is that structure a bathroom?
that structure is the bathrooms, which we have, if you keep going to the end of the agenda, you'll see the budget to complete this project. We've probably got a little more, now this is a complete budget. It shows everything, including the cost it takes the town to erect the play structures. The left-hand column is total cost. Expenditures required are in the center column, and of course, the zeros there are where you see the town's labor, because we, of course, are not going to bill ourselves. So that won't be, if any, there will be no expenditures to that cost. and the right-hand column is expenditures to date. We've got about right at $94,000 into this park already. So the balance to complete it, as you can see, is seen there, is over $200,000. A big
Can-
chunk of that will be the paving.
Can we tie into the CCA's, subject?
Yes, we have, my understanding, Harvey, correct me when I'm wrong, but my understanding is that's half ours.
It is, and and that's what's saying that we got half the capacity, and we're not using hardly no capacity with that building, right?
Exactly.
So-
I did a history report on it. It's-
Right, that's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, I think that you'd have,
Yeah.
with the capacity that you have, we're still under, we'll still be under our half of the, cause how many gallon per day is it? How big is septic, I mean, is it 800 gallon per day, or 600 gallon per day?
I think it was 1,000.
1,000, yeah, we're not gonna be using 500 gallon for that, gym and that building a day,
We were
no.
hardly using 1,000 a quarter,
Right,
much less a day. And I talked to Stacy Hart, actually.
and that's a month you're talking about,
She designed the system that's over there,
okay, good.
and she said you have to get, I forgot, there's a name for the equipment, you have to get, to tie into it, and she said it was very good.
And she can handle that for us? Yeah, okay, good.
If you look, we will contract, of course, the masonry part of the building. We'll do the roof. It's a very small building. We'll do the plumbing, we'll do the electric, we'll do the HVAC. We'll, of course, have to buy the equipment and the materials, but the labor will be done by the town. So the purpose of this meeting is to get you to get the committee to say, this looks like what the direction we want to head in. We want you to proceed at the first available opportunity. And that's what we're trying to get from you. But up to this point, we've been trying to conform to the conceptual drawing that we have here. So if you have any other ideas or direction, we'd like to hear.
Well, because of what you already got done, that's what that day, what you already got done, you can actually park on. You understand what I'm saying? So couldn't we do the paving last, and that thing would be, have equipment, I mean,
Well, we've made a commitment to, we're trying to follow a schedule that Mr. Landsberger and I have worked out.
Let's do
And
it.
we're trying to, right now, to do this by March,
Let's
to
do
get
it.
paving done by March. We'd like to get it in so that the farmer's market can use it for overflow parking.
let's do it.
Again, the reason it's not done already is because
Yeah.
we're carefully watching our
Yeah.
expenses
But I
right
think we're
now.
gonna be all right. I think we're gonna be all right.
And we'll have a better idea of that after Tuesday night.
What do y'all think? Well, I think we're gonna be all right.
This is sensory equipment, right? That's what we were trying to do with this park. It was supposed to be more of a sensory type park versus,
Like,
more of a playground. We got the playground at Memorial Park just originally.
And again, this is from memory, it's been a little while since I looked at it, but I think one of these three pieces is.
Well, I see the one has a lot of sensory type looking stuff on it.
Sugarland.
The Sugarland one, yeah. My understanding was everything there was supposed to be, back when we last talked
you know, like
about doing this, that the whole park was supposed to be more of a sensory type, park. I know also there was supposed to be wasn't there supposed to be a walking / jogging trail around the perimeter of this? Like with like pull-up bars? I know we had talked about stuff like that at one point in time too.
We had talked about a fitness trail that we would
Yeah.
attempt to get different businesses to sponsor around the perimeter of it.
I just remembered bits and, you know,
With
things
different
that,
stations where
things
you
that
would
we
stop
had-
and work out on,
Yeah.
pull-up type things. And I agree with you that, a couple of these
David?
don't fit the sensory playground.
Okay, no problem.
At some point, can I talk about the playground equipment?
Sure, go ahead right now. Go ahead, David. Hello?
Yeah, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I have no idea where this, and Donna, I don't know if you know about it. I have no idea where this playground equipment came from, where these designs came from. And there was talk about a sensory equipment, and there was talk about all sorts of stuff. And Donna, you had all sorts of catalogs at one point that you and I looked at, right?
Correct.
Yeah. to whatever you guys decide. I got this drawing maybe a week ago from Mike, and I only have drawings for one of those three pieces, not all three. So I have no idea what it's like. And I've agreed that if we have 3 pieces of equipment, I'll pay for a third of it, or if we have 4 pieces of equipment, I'll pay for a quarter of it. Whatever the price is, I will do that. But I'd sure like to see more than the first piece. And are we gonna both do them all at once, or are we gonna do them one at a time? And also, I agree with the other comment, to put in playground equipment before we have a parking lot is inviting trouble, because people are gonna wanna park, and I know they're gonna drive onto that parking lot at some point and
Well-
do a lot of the work that we've got done.
We're not at,
Hopefully on Tuesday, when you look at the money and the budget and what our income is, we'll be able to move up the paving before March. March is kind of like a drop dead date in terms of what I envisioned.
we're not advocating buying this or installing it right this minute. We're kind of trying to get a direction on which way you want to go, and if all of this needs to be sensory equipment, then that's exactly why we're having a meeting, so we can get the right equipment, make sure we get into this park what you want to see in it, what the committee wants to see in it.
I had no particular input on the playground equipment.
Okay.
I said, the town should put in the playground. I know that Donna pretty much led the charge for sensory equipment, and I thought, because I didn't know anything about some of that sensory equipment, and I said, wow, that's pretty cool. If that's what you guys decide to do, I'm okay with that. But I'm equally okay with, the traditional play space or swings or whatever it is you want to do. I just think that we need to have another playground somewhere closer to downtown for kids, because right now you only have the one that's all the way on the other side of the island, basically. So I'm not gonna hold you up, in terms of what you decide to put in there. I'm good with whatever this committee or the town approves.
Okay.
And I'll pay, like I said, if there are 3 pieces, I'll pay a third. If there are 4 pieces, I'll pay a quarter. And I've already arranged to have that chess table donated, and so that's what. Now, I don't wanna have, what I don't wanna have, and I guess you'll understand that, if we decide we're gonna have 3 pieces, and I pay a third, I don't just want my piece to go in, and my payment to go in, and the other 2 not to go in at the same time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, well,
I'll mute my phone and you guys go, or you want me to stay on? You guys go ahead. I'm fine with whatever you want to do.
so Donna, are you fine with one piece of sensory equipment?
Not really. I think we all thought that this committee would be shaping or have some part of the planning of this. And one thing I want to state here so that Chris and Mike and Harvey know is that the council did approve naming this after Brianna Merritt. And I have talked to her mother to get her
Yeah, she gave us the approval.
thinking about what the name of it might be. And I think that needs to be a decision of the committee with a little bit of input from
Brandy.
maybe her mother and
Yeah.
father.
Yeah,
Whether they wanted it to be Bree Bree's Kindness Park, or just what kind of ideas they might have for naming it. So I really want to stress that I want that name for Brianna, and that the thought of it being a kindness, with that kindness being the theme, that could come into the planning of what type of equipment would be in here. The sensory playground equipment that we were looking for, and these were all in one of the catalogs that I did give to Jim. And this, the Three Little Pigs Company, I see that back here on the budget. And is the Three Little Pig and Play In part within the same company?
Three Little Pigs is really a broker for sales for the play structures and the actual manufacturers.
Play and Park Structures is
Yeah.
the big catalog.
Yes, which is the same equipment, the new equipment we put in Memorial Park.
Well, when we did Memorial Park, we found out that there was a representative from Third Little Pig that
Right.
lived here on Chincoteague, and he came free of charge and consulted with us.
Well, and that's where all that information came. He's already done that.
And was he told that we wanted it to be on the sensory line?
Well, like I said, one of them is heavily sensory done, is the point he made it a lot, most of the sensory, stuff can be added. They don't really sell a sensory structure. You buy a basic structure and add, the sensory, stuff to it. So, yeah, Pete Lawler is the name you probably remember. He's actually been over with that when we at Smith Street, I forgot.
Oh, good. Yeah, he was a wealth of information when he came from Memorial Park. So the Sugar Land looks to me to have sensory panels. The other two, I'm not crazy about. And again, for Mike and Chris, which weren't here before, the sensory playgrounds, and we definitely wanted it not only to be ADA compliant, but we also wanted some of the pieces to be really geared towards somebody that was in a wheelchair that could roll up and use it. And so the sensory equipment that I had looked at and seen before was, they had percussion sets where you would go up and actually play music and drum on them, and they had different equipment that you would interact with rather than slide or swing or. So my suggestion would be that we kind of go back to the drawing board as far as picking out this equipment. The Sugar Land does have the panels, and as Harvey said, panels could be added.
Donna?
But I would like to, for this,
Dave's
Yeah.
talk to you.
Yes, David?
If you're gonna make it ADA compliant, then you're gonna have to rethink the surfacing, and you're gonna have to have paved paths to it. To be ADA compliant, you can't have them rolling over grass and over. What kind of surface are you thinking for this playground?
What we've done in the past is certified mulch, certified playground mulch,
Right.
which,
Okay, mulch is not ADA compliant.
right, it has a minimum
You can't
thickness.
go over that, so you've got two conflicting things there, ADA compliant and mulch, and I agree that mulch works and grass works, but then you can't have a wheelchair access.
Well, if we made the first piece of equipment ADA, you could simplify it there and have a path to that particular one. But I don't know what you would do, you would have to have like a hard rubber surface inside.
You're gonna have to put down asphalt or concrete and then put the compliant surface over top of it, which I can tell you, after looking at them, is hugely expensive.
Yeah,
So,
and that would probably be that rubberized little particle pieces that are compressed together or whatever.
correct. Which I don't know how it qualifies as being fall resistant, because it's not. It's still as hard as falling on
Yeah, I was gonna
concrete,
say, it would
but
hurt just as bad.
obviously passes muster with somebody.
Yeah. It'd be nice to have it ADA compliant, but I don't know that,
I like your idea about having a single piece, because if you.
at least
if
one
you-
piece, but
If you've got a
as far
person
as
that you don't
budget.
understand too, like you said, if you take somebody ADA around, then you understand why they, so I think one piece would be,
And that's something I'm sure Pete would be more than happy to help us.
and like you're saying, right off the paving
right
parking lot.
off the parking lot, the first
Yeah.
piece that you come to,
Yeah.
the first piece you come to, you could, after the park, or after the parking lot and the bathrooms, you could,
I would be willing to chip in something to get a paved path to one of the ADA compliant parks. That's something that would be important to me.
Absolutely.
And can you hear me?
yes.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah, and I would help out with that.
absolutely. Yeah, we
But
gotta have,
again, the question is, where do you want the path to come from?
It would have to come from the bathroom.
The original drawings of the park, and I haven't seen the latest one, had parking places right in front of the park in addition to the actual parking lot. So,
They do, well, you would have to do ADA parking near the bathroom, I would assume, and you would have it coming from the bathroom walkway.
right, and we could have some handicap spots there.
Yes.
That would hook up to that path, that would go to that one piece of ADA compliant equipment.
Yeah.
it's not hard at all.
Yeah, okay.
Just make that, instead of the
I
L,
have
make
not
that
seen
T.
the final drawing, and I have not seen anything other than one piece of playground equipment proposed. But, you know, it's, you guys do what you wanna do, I'm just saying that these are things I'm willing to help with.
But that's easy, right, like I said, where that elbow goes into the bathroom.
Yeah, you can come right off of that.
Come right off
yeah.
of that, and you're talking another 30 foot of concrete, and it'd be right there to it, and yeah, definitely.
That would really make it well balanced. You would have your ADA piece of equipment, you'd have a
Right there,
pretty
'cause you already gotta have
heavily
ADA
Have a
with the bathroom.
sensory piece and
sensory
then a
piece,
regular
and you'd
piece.
have a regular piece. It would be a
Yeah.
pretty balanced play area there.
Well, I would recommend that we get Pete to come back and talk to you about an ADA piece of equipment and also about structures that were more sensory, because Play and Park did have a section that did have some different sensory equipment. And so my recommendation is that we kind of go back to the drawing board as far as the playground's concerned. The drawing, as it's here, is very, very similar to what David Lansberger gave us in the very beginning. But we were never given a square footage as far as what we had to work with. But now that we have that sitting here, then I think we could go from there and start planning the playground.
And you say that, I mean, we could, some of these pieces, we could add sensory stuff too.
All of them.
All of them you can.
Yeah, they have add-on panels.
We just would have to probably, just that first piece, might have to switch things up or whatever and make that an ADA
Yeah.
compliant piece
Even though
section.
Sugarland has the sensory pieces on it, that you don't wanna have the slides or,
If you look at
That
the
wouldn't
one,
be ADA.
what is it, the whistle stop, if you look at the drawing for it, the top view drawing, it has ADA, has an ADA symbol in it. I don't know if that's for that particular part on that one side. Actually, all of them have an ADA compliance, symbol in them for a certain section of the piece of equipment. From, if I'm understanding that right.
However, when you put that mulch underneath of it, makes it
Well, that
not
takes it
ADA.
away, but that's why I say we do that with the first piece. We make that first piece so that they can roll in that and use that area.
Right, I see.
and
And,
Walden looks like a pretty.
but we need to, if we're gonna do that, we need to make that first piece all ADA compliant. The entire piece needs to be probably an ADA, all complete ADA piece of equipment that they can, I don't know if it has ramps or what, that they can actually roll up on and down or whatever with their parent or whoever. So I mean, that's probably what we need to do with the first piece. So the first piece coming off of that garage, off the bathroom there, we need to make that an ADA compliant, playground area. And then probably the centerpiece would be the main piece, and then maybe the sensory piece at the end there.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the Walden piece. Looks like to me that would take up a great deal of space, that in the sensory playground concept, there could be 6 different structures in that were small and single unit, and you move from one to the other and play with that. So if we had the ADA piece and we had the Sugarland, and that left us with another space that could be dedicated more to sensory, then I would say we should find something else to replace this Walden.
Well, with the Walden, you gotta keep in mind, during playgrounds, you're gonna have siblings of kids, I mean, with the youth soccer field, you're gonna have siblings of soccer players that are gonna want an area to play and run around, and having a big piece in the middle gives them a place to run around and kinda spread out on one piece. And not to mention, it probably keeps costs down having one unique big piece versus 2 smaller ones spread out. Cause you're adding curbing, more curbing, then you have, it's just a whole separate area. I would think that keeping it in one big piece is probably helping with cost. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've never priced playground equipment, so I don't know that that's a fact.
My sheet doesn't have the price for that Walden. Maybe it's on here. No.
I don't see it on there either.
Well, the total was 80,000.
Well,
One's
that,
28, one's 23.
But I'm seeing 4 different pieces of equipment here, and we've only got 3 showing on the,
That's what, I've got an extra
Oh,
piece
yeah.
in here.
that's
Yeah.
the Walden is an extra piece that is not, we don't have the price on, and it's like it's the 4th one, so I'm not even sure that that's,
the budgeted amount you see there was full price on this now.
The
Or at least on that.
80,000?
Yeah, that's before we started getting any discounts.
Well, you're right, Walden's not part of the ones that's priced out.
Right.
no.
Okay, so we priced out the first 3. This
Yeah,
is
we
from-
priced out the first 3, the Walden's actually
that
not
Walden,
priced
that's a
out,
bi-
so
that's a
that's
big
probably
job
gonna
there.
be double of what these are. I'd guess that that's probably 40. If the rest of them are 23 and 24. Or, well, the Calico Corner's 28, so I would guarantee that the
Walden.
Walden's 40 or more,
That's gotta be-
I would
45.
think so too.
Yeah, I think that whistle stop's the least attractive of them all.
It is.
Yeah, I
That's,
agree. would be
that one's just about worthless.
That and the Walden you can stick over there in the trash area. That leaves you with the,
So, yeah, we need to,
Calico and Sugarland.
yeah, we need to come up with a, sensory and a, well, we got the one sensory, but we need to come up with, the ADA.
Well, and, I mean, do you all want us to come up with some suggestions, or do you wanna just appoint somebody to select some pieces? I mean, we've got a budget for it.
If everybody else is good with it, I'm good with, if Donna's got time and, you know, if she wants to sit down with the rep and Harvey, and you all put together, some ideas, if you can do it before Thursday night's meeting night, is that when we were trying to have a vote on this?
I mean, not necessarily, we just, Harvey and I have been going at this, you know, for a couple months, and we just haven't really gotten any direction. And before we get too far down one path, we wanted some guidance from the committee
Okay.
on where to go and how to do it. And we're
Do you,
getting-
do you want to have Donna come sit with the rep and Harvey and then meet on this again next month?
Yeah, I mean, there's no hurry, I mean, we're not gonna buy this before Christmas.
Okay, well then, let's do that then. We'll just have Donna
Yeah,
and
that's
Harvey
fine.
meet with the rep and go over and pick some equipment and bring it back to the committee next month.
Okay?
And we can take it to council.
I would say I like the design.
I do, I like the layout.
Sign off on the layout.
Yeah,
I'd sign
I mean,
off
as
on
far
it.
as the layout, I'm for the layout. I think the layout's great. I would say that if Harvey, maybe if you could just take in the realm of possibility of a workout path that we had talked about, just to,
Absolutely, we
Could
do.
someone send me the layout at some point?
It's in your email, David, I just sent it to you again.
Okay, thanks.
It's in there now.
but if just what it would cost to put a path around the perimeter of this with, you know, and the possibility, I mean, you could pull up bars or you could,
When you say path, are we thinking paved or more, you know?
it's gonna be a workout path, and it would be like a running / walking path. It would probably have to be paved, I would think. I mean, I don't know if you could do some kind of, like, what is it, the stone dust type, I don't, a packed stone dust surface.
Which we could, and you obviously do that at a fraction of the cost.
Yeah,
What do we call it, millings, not millings,
I call it stone dust, but it's like the stuff that's
I know what
in
you-
crush and run type,
yeah,
yeah,
it's the leftover stuff when they grind.
yeah. You know, that could make a good, if you ran it with a compactor, could be a good solid
That's what the
surface.
tracks at Nandu and Arcadia were made out of for years until
Yeah.
they paved them.
Yeah,
It's packed pretty tight.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we had referred to it as a fitness trail before. And I think it would work out real good for the perimeter, maybe just the back side here and this side, maybe not so much so over here where the cars are parked.
the lady that came in I believe it was with this committee, she came in that wanted to, or was it may have been a council meeting, she came in and wanted to raise money for a fountain.
Downtown.
She wanted to put it downtown, but we recommended to put it here.
Cindy.
Is she still,
She's not in town as often as she used to be, just because of COVID.
yeah,
But she does own a house here, and she's still very interested in participating, being a part of Brianna's Park.
okay, so, I mean, that's another thing that, that's a factor. I don't know that Mike and Chris and everybody, they actually knew that this lady came in and wanted to, she had asked our permission, and she had already talked to the mother, about, she wanted to put this fountain in Robert Reed Park downtown. And it was gonna be a little girl with a butterfly statue, a water fountain.
It was actually gonna be a Don Turner sculpture.
Yeah, it was gonna be, yeah,
For
yeah.
like $120,000.
Yeah, she was trying to raise a lot of money, and she was gonna do it all on her own. But we recommended naming this park and possibly putting the fountain here. And she was kind of on, if I remember right, she was on board with that. So that's
Cindy Wolf is her name.
okay. That's another, something that would have to be placed. If she raises that money, we need to have an area for that to go.
That's a great idea. Is there any problems with a fountain near a playground, drowning?
I mean, what kind of, you mean the Trevi fountain, or we're just having a bird bath with a?
No, it's not a bird bath. This was what, from what I understand, it was a regular fountain.
From what I remember, it was going to be a Turner sculpture, and that perhaps that sculpture would be put in a fountain.
Yeah.
So I think even if she didn't wanna do the sculpture, the same sculpture that she had in mind for Don Leonard Park, I think she would be very interested in assisting with this. And if we had something that she needed to raise money for, outside of a COVID time, I think she'd still be interested.
Okay.
I mean, if it's a sculpture, we can make the fountain anything it needs to be.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be Bellagio.
I was just saying to keep in mind, an area
Yeah.
that we would probably want to keep it close to the bathroom area or something up that way.
Yeah,
Maybe on
front
the,
corner.
Yeah, towards the entrance there.
into the soccer field, maybe up.
Yeah, somewhere.
up here, somewhere in here.
But if we're spending $40,000 on a piece of playground equipment, she might be just as well interested in raising money instead of this fountain.
Okay, all right. Well, if you have her contact information, maybe reach out to her and just kind of see where she's at with that too, for the next
will.
meeting. Well, I guess I gotta have somebody make a motion that we,
I've got one more comment.
Okay.
That, I wouldn't mind if we met with Brianna's mother, just to see if she had any little wishes that she would like to see in this
I can
park.
ask her to come to the next meeting and have her, we can have her input, her and Josh, honestly. I'd be willing to ask both of them to come and put their input in.
I'd like to see that.
Okay.
David, did you have something?
Mike,
Yes, sir.
sorry. There's one thing that this drawing does not take into account. I understand that you have septic that you can use at the CCA, but the building, the proposed building on the land that I still own is not. And in the agreement, I have a right of way to where the backstop used to be, and there's supposed to be room for a drain field there, and I don't see room for the drain field there on this drawing.
I don't either.
And that would be where that third piece of equipment's sitting.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, that somewhere there has to be a drain field
I don't remember the drain field. I remember the septic tank under the parking lot.
for a septic tank for that building, whether it be a youth center.
Don't you remember that, Harvey? It was a septic tank.
Whatever it is, and that's to be
And-
discussed later.
For this building, he was proposing a septic tank in these parking spots,
we
I
will do
think.
that.
David's Harvey, what are you thinking about putting 2 restrooms in there?
Can you hear Harvey, David? David? David?
Hold on, I'm having trouble. Say that again, Ari?
That's the septic for the building we're discussing.
Right.
What do you think about putting 2
There has to
restrooms?
be two restrooms there with probably 3 toilets in each, minimum. Again, it depends what that land gets used for. I'm trying to get someone interested in, at one point we talked about an indoor pool, we had talked about an outdoor pool, utilizing the same parking lot. We had also talked about a youth center. And if nothing happens, then I suppose at some point there'll be townhouses there. I mean, I don't know what else to say. You know, I can't get anybody to, let's get the park built and we'll figure that out. I'm willing to donate it or build something for the town there, if the town comes forward with a plan that makes sense. But, at the same time, there has to be, the tank themselves will be on the property, but the drain field has to be down there. Got that?
Yeah. Yep. I don't remember.
Well, above ground system for what, 600 gallon per day is about 14 by 24,
Yeah,
pretty close, isn't it?
yeah, that would probably fit in the back of that building.
14 by 24. And then you just gonna have a pump station to there, thing, so 14 by 24, and it has to stay, what, 8 foot off the back line?
Should be 10, I believe.
Mm-mm. Roughly, that one we put in for Shotwell's house was pretty close. Just tight quarters back there.
It used to be 5, but I think they've raised it up a little bit.
I'll make the motion, we proceed forth with this design bearing the investigation into the drain field and bearing the output of Donna meeting with Harvey and the playground equipment.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, as far as the budget, we've kind of already hit on that, haven't we?
Much.
You know, the only thing on that budget I'll add to it is, Mike, you might want to add that town labor back into your expenditures to date. Because you're at 93. If you add back in the town labor,
Sure.
it's 22, it's almost 116 we're into it already,
Yep.
just for the record.
We'll add that in as a total cost now.
Yeah, because, regardless, it's still an expenditure of paying those.
Yeah, even though
Wait.
it's zero's on required, we ought to have it on the expenditures column if
Okay.
we're actually.
Yeah, you could probably zero it out under required expenditures, but,
It is.
yeah,
Yeah, see, he zeroed it out. I'm saying that you
Yeah.
add it back into expenditures to date.
yeah.
We can do that?
Is there anything else on the budget? Nothing? All right, I guess we'll go on to committee member comments and other discussion. I'll start with you, Ms. Donna.
Is this gonna be the date that we follow from now on, the second, third Thursday? We used to meet on Mondays at 5 o'clock
We
on the
did. There
third
was-
Mondays.
There was a conflicting meeting, so I asked the mayor, and the mayor said do it Thursday. So, and I asked, of course, after that, I asked Matt, and he said, as the chairman, and he said he was free, so. But we were going back to the meeting. Yes, it's not supposed to be on this night, so we'll go back to the meeting time it's supposed to be, as long as we don't have a conflict.
Okay, so that'll be the third Monday at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yep.
That's all.
Okay. Dean?
Yeah, there's on the back end of the tennis court on the trail side, that's a gate that needs to be, it was all locked up and stuff, I couldn't get in. Also, there's some fencing down, the top part of it is missing, so they won't put the windbreak back up, and it's some pipes missing and some holders and stuff. You might have to run to there at Cliffsfield to the Anderson Fence Company and get some fence pieces. And like I said, we would like to get those drains marked that are down, and any side hazards that people, like I say, when you're riding bicycle, because somebody sees it late, they dodge it and weave it, and
I envision that as we're gonna be correcting those all winter long. I mean, I've counted, there's 4 or 5 on my road.
right. I mean, it's not isolated. It's all over.
Yeah,
I know you ride bicycle a lot and
They're
stuff too.
here and there, and when you hit them, it's a mess, so.
And like I say, I'm a bicycle rider. Now, if you, it's okay if you got like a mountain bike or a beach cruiser, But man, you're riding them small tar bikes, you know, with a 120 pound air on them, that's a really and also the motorcycle, I think, guy, any complaints period, really from the bicycle, I said, oh, it's the motorcycle riders that's been fussing it now.
That it? Chris?
No, I don't have anything.
Mr. Chairman, real quick, what I show here on our sheet from last year is this committee meets on the second Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Is that not when you've been meeting?
It may be,
I thought it was,
because I think it was right before planning commission.
Planning
Mhm.
commission meets at
Second Tuesday, I
Yeah,
think
it
it was right
was.
before planning
Okay.
commission. Yeah,
For some reason, there was another meeting.
yeah, there was, yeah, so I think it was right before planning commission meetings,
Okay.
I'm pretty
So-
sure.
So that's
Well,
correct.
And occasionally you're gonna have a conflict with public works on an odd calendar.
Okay.
well, I'm open to other dates, but this particular, day is the same day that I have museum board meetings, so I do
Well,
have a conflict with
The
this.
committees, even though they may be on the same day of the month, sometimes are supposed to meet every other month. So so they'll meet they're designed to meet in the off months, and sometimes we get out of sequence, so.
Well, I mean, if this one has to go until December, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything either, so somebody have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Thank you, David.